Estrella, the podcast. I'm Estrella, your go-to Spanish teacher for fun, easy and simple lessons. This is a safe place to build confidence and to learn real Spanish step by step. So let's begin. If you've tried learning Spanish before and felt overwhelmed, inconsistent, or like nothing was sticking, this episode is for you. These are the exact tips I give my beginner students to help Spanish feel simpler, more natural, and actually enjoyable. Before we start, if you're learning Spanish on your own or at your own pace, I've created something to support you. It's called the Ultimate Spanish Beginner Workbook, and it's designed to help beginners go from zero to confidence in Spanish by following the chapters step by step. You can download yours today by simply going on my website learningwithestrella.com, or you can find the link in the description box below. My tip numero uno, be consistent. What do I mean by this? You probably heard this 1,000 times already, everyone says this, but honestly it's one of the key ones. If you're going to take something from this lesson, be this tip, number one, be consistent. What do I mean by being consistent? I don't want you, honestly I don't want you to learn and focus 3 hours a day, every single day, or 5 hours one day and then don't do everything again until you remember your workbook and then you want to go back on it again. No, don't do that. After my one-to-one classes, I always say the same thing. After this class, don't do any more Spanish, because in that 1 hour class, it's enough for the whole day. Don't do anything else. Look at it tomorrow. Let's see how much you remember from the lesson. But after the class, I don't want my students to do loads. No, there's no need for that. Your brain can only absorb X amount of things per day, so don't overwhelm it because you won't learn. If you want to learn a language, it's going to take time. So what I recommend is 5 minutes a day. Then if you want to bump it up to 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, maximum 1 hour a day. When we do the private classes, that's your Spanish for the day. It's better to do less but more consistently, so 5 minutes but every day, than not doing anything at all, or to do it 1 hour and then nothing for the rest of the week. Just dedicate 5-10 minutes, whatever you decide, whatever you can do. I know lots of you are very busy, you've got very busy lives, so whatever you can get, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever that is, just dedicate it. Maybe it's at the mid-morning when you wake up, when you're having your coffee, or maybe it's at night time, but preferably in the morning or nighttime. 3 hours after you wake up or 3 hours before you go to bed are when the brain absorbs the most better. So you can do the 5 minutes when you wake up in the morning or when you go to bed, 5 minutes. Number two, número dos. Spanish is a spoken language, so you need to practice speaking. Say things out loud, even if it might sound weird, strange. Don't worry, you're training your mouth, your ears, and your brain. Even if you don't know what you're saying, just practice saying words, getting familiar with the sound. What I recommend to practice your speaking is reading. Reading. Very, very important. This builds confidence and it helps you be better with your speaking. You could head to my channel or to other episodes to check for some reading practice that I've got over in my channel, and I've also got some listening practice as well, which will help and train your ears. Tip number three, tip número tres, learn verbs early. Spanish is very big on verbs. Think about it, you need verbs to be able to speak. I need, I am, I have, I do. All of these things are verbs. We don't really realize this when we're speaking English, but everything relies on verbs, so Spanish is the same. So we need to start learning verbs early on, as very early as you can. If you know verbs, you can communicate. Even if you don't have lots of vocabulary, you can communicate with verbs. And you don't really need complicated grammar or complicated tenses. You just need simple, useful, and everyday verbs. Tip number four, tip número cuatro, listen as much as possible. This is so important. even more than speaking. Listening is everything. Listen to Spanish radio, podcasts, and practice like I mentioned earlier that I've got in my channel. You can listen to music, audiobooks, whatever you prefer doing, but listen. I know you don't understand and you're like, oh my god, Estrella, it feels so hard. Oh my god, it's too much. I cannot understand anything they're saying. Don't worry about that. When you're practicing your listen at the beginning, I don't want you to practice understanding. I want you to practice listening, just listening. If I say, hola, me llamo Estrella, maybe yes, you understand, hello, my name is Estrella, but maybe not. And I don't want you to know that what I'm saying and translating it to English. I want you to listen on the words. What am I really saying? Hola, and try to just make that pattern in your head. So this is why I really recommend reading and listening. So when you're reading a story, if you can at the same time have the audiobook with you, so you're reading and you're listening at the same time. What this does is your brain links the sound to the word written. Now Spanish is very simple in this department because we pronounce words the same way they are written, but again, with any language, this is key. Tip number 5, tip número 5. Focus on what you can say. This tip goes to the people that want to be perfect. Don't. At the beginning, no one is perfect. Not even natives. No one is perfect, okay? So please get that thought out of your brain. We're not looking for perfection. I want you to focus on the things you can. If you've been learning ser or if you've been learning tener, I want you to say things to practice tener. So for example, I have, yo tengo un móvil, I have a phone, I have a telephone. Yo tengo una planta, I have a plant. Yo tengo un coche, I have a car. Ooh, what color is that car? Tengo un coche blanco, I have a white car, or rojo, I have a red car, whatever that is. I want you to practice saying and writing things you know, things that you've been learning, things that you are confident in. If you want to expand and say, oh, how would I say I have been doing my homework? I have been doing my... That's too much. If you haven't learned that tense, you don't know it, don't focus your attention on things you don't know. Focus on your attention the things you do know, because what happens is you're going to forget those things that you do know, the very basics, the steps. So it's very important to practice what you know and don't focus on what you don't know. Tip number 6, número 6. Learn vocabularies in themes. I love this tip because it helps your brain organize themes and words quicker and easier. So instead of learning, ooh, coche, car, ooh, yellow, amarillo, this is too overwhelming. You're not going to remember much. You might remember some things, but you won't remember everything. So learn vocabulary in themes, learn verbs in themes. So for example, shopping. Okay, so what verbs go with shopping? We've got ir, comprar, etc. And what vocabulary? So we've got ropa, so learn clothes, learn food, but learn vocabulary in themes. So you're not just learning random words, you're learning themes. That way your brain can store things easier and you'll remember things simpler. Then if you follow the episodes I upload weekly on this channel, on this podcast, then we're going to be doing this together. So don't worry, if you want to learn with me, that's completely fine, but I'm just saying in general, focus to learn vocabulary in themes. Tip number 7, número 7. Okay, so this one is for my visual learners. I am a visual learner, so I love doing this. This is a very nice step, and I recommend this. So label things at home. You can get some post-it notes and just write room, dormitorio, cuarto. You can say ventana, window, paredes, walls, or you can say cubiertos, cutlery, and things like that. You could use post-it notes, or you can just label things around your house. This is such a good exercise and such a good tip. So when you go to the bathroom or when you go to the kitchen and you open the door and you're like, oh yeah, puerta, or you can see your cutlery, you can say, oh yeah, cubiertos, and things like that. Vasos, glasses, copas, wine glasses. Things like that are very useful, so I like this. Tip number 8, número 8. So this one is for everyone. This one is my go-to. This is my favorite tip for learning any language, not only Spanish. What you're going to do is you're going to buy a notebook and you're going to label this in your brain as the Spanish notebook. Everything you write in here has to be in Spanish or any language you're learning, but if you click this video you probably want to learn Spanish, so this is why I'm saying Spanish, but any language you want to learn, it has to be everything you write in Spanish. So what am I going to write, Estrella? What should I write? I don't know what to write. I can't write. I don't know. Hold on. Breathe. So what you're going to write is whatever you learn. For example, when we learn ser, or when we learn tener is a nice one. Tener means to have. So when you learn how to say things like I have, so you could say, okay, what do I have? Go around the house. What do you have? I have a bed. Okay, so I have a bed. Yo tengo una cama. I have a bed. Things like that. Now, for beginners, for when you're a bit further up, you find saying I have a bed a bit simple and you want something a bit harder. So things we learn together in the classes, things that you've been learning with the Ultimate Spanish Beginner Workbook, or things you learn with me in class, or in generally things you learn, practice keeping a little diary. You could write things like what you've done today, what you want to do tomorrow, maybe something's going on in the weekend, or it's your birthday, what you're going to do, who you're going to buy, are you going to have a party? Things like that. Write things in Spanish. Tip number 9. Tip número 9. Okay, so I like this one. This one is a nice one, especially if you're not a complete beginner and you know a little bit, this one's for you. If you love cooking, or if you love vlogs, if you like movies, songs, whatever you like doing in English, I want you to switch it up and do it in Spanish. If you're like cooking, for example, I love cooking, so watch videos about cooking in Spanish. Those vocabulary you already know in English, like you like using, you're going to be using things, for example, oven, for example, whisk, things like that. That vocabulary is useful for you because you like cooking. So watch videos about cooking in Spanish, and it's so much fun because you can see the things that they're doing. You like watching, you can put the subtitles if you prefer, and you learn in Spanish while doing something you love. And this goes with movies, songs, anything you like doing, switch it up and put the Spanish version. Tip number 10, tip número 10, and finally, enjoy the process. Learning a language is a journey. You don't need to rush. Spanish should feel exciting, not overwhelming. So, or any language you're learning, it should be exciting, it should be fun, you should be happy with what you're learning. Oh my god, I've just learned how to say this, I've just learned how to say to shop, to have. Enjoy it. You're never going to be back at this stage, you're going to grow. You're never going to be here in this position again, so it should be fun. And if you're sad, if you're frustrated, if you're stressed, if you say, oh, no, I can't do this anymore, I don't want to do this is hard, stop. Because if you've started this, it's because you want to. Now, if you want to, don't let those emotions win you over, okay? Because yes, some topics are hard, some topics are difficult, but you shouldn't do too much. This links back to the first tip. You don't have to do everything 5 hours and then don't do anything again, because your brain gets tired. Everyone gets tired. Not get tired, and to not get these emotions, you just have to take it a bit slower and enjoy things. Instead of saying, oh my god, this is hard. When do you use por? When do you use para? Why do we have 2 different words for for? This is so hard. Don't look at it like that. Look at it the other way. Oh my god, we've got 2 different ways. Okay, yes, I've learned this. I learned something new. Oh my god, yes, I didn't realize we use this in English. What is this? Oh my god, this something new, this phrase you use in English. This is amazing. Be positive. Enjoy the process, okay? You're never going to be here again, so enjoy the process. If you'd like more structure and support, check out the Ultimate Spanish Beginner Workbook. The link is in the description box below, or you can head to my website learningwithestrella.com. If you prefer personalized guidance, I offer online private classes and group classes once a month. Thank you so much for listening in. Remember, you don't need to be perfect to speak Spanish, and I'll see you in the next episode. Adios!